Okay, let's get into part 5 of my playthrough of What Remains of Edith Finch. Couple of things before I get rolling. I have a cold, so that's not great. Also, it's a Saturday morning. There's some ambient sounds outside. I've done my best to try and control those. Hopefully they don't creep in here or, you know, override some of the sounds of the gameplay, but I think they should be pretty minimal if they're even noticeable. But let's get into it. We just finished Milton's story, and I believe there are only a couple left. We have Sanjay that's not drawn in. We have Dawn that's not drawn in. Stan and Edie. Okay, we have a little bit left. Let's get into it. Then we get back down. There we go.
Mom spent months searching for my brother. Then she sealed the doors. Whatever Milton had found in the house, Mom didn't want it getting out.
Wrong way. It's an interesting line. Whatever Milton found in the house, Mom didn't want it getting out. Is that knowledge? A physical object? A lot of these characters seem so desperate to get out. And it's led either to their demise or to their disappearance. Actually,
Mom definitely blamed Edie, but I think Lewis blamed himself. After he graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room, until Mom got him a job at the cannery.
one thing is kind of interesting. So these bedroom doors, they're sealed up, right? That's the mom's reaction to dealing with the grief, is to seal off the rooms. Don't see the little reminders of them. But all these rooms remain accessible. Whether that was intentional by the mom to not truly seal things up tight, we don't know. But I think that kind of plays into the themes that these secrets, these unknown things, they'll eventually be discovered at some point, right? It can't erase what happened in the past, but there's an understanding that can still happen.
Lewis's room smelled very, very familiar. That part of him lived on.
No, I don't. It automatically walked out when I looked. The smell of the pothead, very familiar. We all have one in our friend group. You might be the one, but yeah, you'll never forget.
Lewis and I spent a lot of time playing games together, but he was surprisingly bad at them. He died a lot.
Dear Mrs. Finch, As Lewis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Lewis first noticed the monotony of his daily life. He kept working at the cannery, but he withdrew part of himself. In our sessions, I saw the same behavior. His mind began to wander. I asked him to describe it. He said he started small.
Okay, before I keep going, this is interesting. The fish keep coming, and you're controlling both, controlling the fish, plus controlling the wandering. So it's interesting, like, how effective can you be at two tasks at once?
Imagining a labyrinth. He'd feel his way about. Then something moved. Bats. And toads. And things that have not names. He knew it was all in his head. But he took it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself. But he found something more. I worried about him then. Daydreaming at the cannery. I spoke with his boss. But he said Lewis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused. Like a whole new Lewis.
Escapism again.
So I let him go on. I even encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first. He told me he'd made a new friend. On the edge of a city he named Lewis Topia. He built the city up slowly, brick by brick. Then he made musicians. And songs for them to play. He talked about starting a band. And he was always humming something. Every day his imagination grew stronger. He no longer spoke at the cannery. But his chopping was as reliable as ever. Then one day it struck him that all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination, so he could do whatever he wished. He held an election for mayor. And he won. They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering. It became a game for him. He'd conquer a city, then immediately push on. New Louisville. St. Louis. He started drifting away from our reality. Minneapolis. Until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery. Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Louis kept sailing on. In Louisburg, he heard rumors of a handsome queen.
I didn't know which one to pick there.
The queen was on her own quest for radiant rainbows. He followed the sound of her silver harp. His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon. Even then, his logic remained sound. He knew the world was all in his imagination. But he was so proud of having created it. In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king. For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming. And then it struck him that the real Louis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace. My imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him.
The only place that delivers to the house, the Chinese restaurant they mentioned earlier.
Began to forget the world we know. I think it pained him to remember Louis, the cannery worker. He began to despise the man with a royal contempt. I still thought I could save him. Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder. The palace would be packed with his companions. Including the wise Calico who'd insisted on advising him.
My cats advise me of when it's time to eat. Well, at least for them. They don't care if I eat or not.
His queen waited, holding his crown. There was only one thing left to do.
Oh no.
Bend down his head. And the rest I think you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
My brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him.
No. Sorry. Uh-oh. Way back down. Oh wait, no. Back up. Let's take this fire pole. Alright. Ended up in the same place anyway. Hold on. Yeah, I just have no idea where to go at this point, so let's wander back and look for triggers. Go the other side of this, maybe? No. Uh-oh. Okay, I must have missed something up above. Unless I can climb in through here, but there's no prompt. Maybe that? It was moving higher and higher. I probably just missed a spot where I could go higher from that last story. Instead, I came back down. Not seeing it. It's so dark now. I didn't miss something down here, did I? This is the viewer frustration section of the video. I probably missed something super obvious. In fact, I don't even remember. Let's see. Up. I came back down here. There's nothing else out here. Why am I forgetting how I crossed higher out of this room? Oh, okay. Through the attic. Okay. Let's loop back down. Looks like I should be able to step out on a tree or something. No. Just miss how to deal with the steps here. seems the obvious way to go, but there's gonna have to be a... maybe on the boat. Guess I missed something in here? Oh my goodness. Okay.
On the way back from Lewis's funeral, my mom told me to start packing. She waited until the day before we left to tell Edie. I'm not sure if she wanted to make it easier or harder. I wish we'd stayed. But I understand why we left.
It's interesting. Everyone wanted out, but she wished they had stayed.
My mom ended up leaving everything behind. What happened that night had been coming for a long time. Maybe it should have come sooner. But it had to end one way or another. All that's left now is to tell you about that last night.
Alright, we're at 28 minutes. I wandered a lot. I know at the end of the last one I said I might do a extra long one to try and finish it, but actually going into Edith's story, I feel like it's a good time to end this segment and give plenty of breathing space to Edith's story. So I will go ahead and end this segment here. Again, another beautifully told mini story there, and just like they do such a good job at just building up to the conclusive moment. That one, I turned that corner and I could see what was going to happen, but it was still hit with impact, even though I saw it coming, right ahead of the moment. But a little just fantastic moment, again, in a game full of them. So I'm excited to finish this off, and hopefully the next segment is the final segment. Not that I want to be done with it. I'm just really curious to see how this resolves. So thanks again for hanging in there, and next part will be coming soon.